Want to discover some hidden gems on your Switch? Welcome to Switch Game List, and let's skip the obvious titles and dive into the intense action games that deserve more love in 2025. If you like this type of video, don't forget to subscribe. Furi puts you in a neon-soaked world where your only mission is to fight your way to freedom. You're a mysterious warrior trapped in a prison, facing off against guardians who each have their own reasons for keeping you locked up. The combat blends bullet hell, dodging with precise sword fighting. Think Dark Souls meets Ikaruga. Each boss fight feels like a duel to the death, demanding perfect timing and nerves of steel. When you finally beat a guardian who's been kicking your butt for the last hour, the satisfaction hits different. The wonderful 101 Remastered brings Platinum Games' wild superhero action to Switch. You control an army of tiny heroes who can morph into giant weapons by drawing shapes on screen. Lead a growing mob of caped crusaders through alien-invaded cities, solving puzzles and fighting massive robots. The learning curve hits like a truck. You'll spend the first few hours just figuring out how to draw a straight line while dodging lasers. But stick with it, and you'll discover one of the most unique action games ever made. Blasphemous 2 throws you into a nightmarish world inspired by Spanish religious art and folklore. You play as the penitent one, seeking answers in a land where faith and torment intertwine. The combat feels weighty, every sword swing and dodge roll matters. The game doesn't hold back on the religious horror with bosses that look like they stepped out of a medieval painting. What sets it apart is how it builds on the first game's foundation, while adding 3 distinct weapons that completely change how you approach each challenge. Astral Chain puts you in the shoes of a rookie police officer in a cyberpunk future, where interdimensional creatures threaten humanity. The twist? You're tethered to a captured alien called a Legion, which you control simultaneously during combat. Think of it as playing 2 characters at once, your cop and your Legion partner. The game turns combat into a dance where you're constantly positioning both characters, wrapping enemies in your chain, and coordinating attacks. Between fights, you're solving crimes and helping citizens in a neon-lit megacity.
All on its own. Think of yourselves as lions, huh? Just keep your hands on the whip and you'll be fine.
Look out, though. Legions aren't always the safest tool in the bars. Keep them out too long and they overheat.
Katana ZERO slices through time itself. You play as a samurai assassin in a neo-noir city where one hit means death, but you can slow time and rewind your mistakes. Each level is a violent puzzle where you plan your route, execute your kills, and manipulate time to survive. The story hits hard, dealing with PTSD, drug addiction, and memory loss. What makes it special is how it weaves these themes into the gameplay. Your time powers come from a mysterious drug, and your character's grip on reality keeps slipping. Ruiner drops you into a cyberpunk hellscape where your only mission is to save your kidnapped brother. Armed with a variety of weapons and a multi-function shield, you dash through levels leaving a trail of destruction. The combat system lets you teleport around arenas while juggling different weapons and abilities. The game doesn't waste time with long cutscenes. It keeps you moving, fighting, and upgrading your gear. The atmosphere drips with style, mixing heavy industrial beats with neon-soaked visuals that burn into your retinas. Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, takes place in a kingdom where rain turns people into undead monsters. You play as Lily, a young priestess who purifies corrupted souls instead of killing them. Each boss you defeat becomes a spirit you can summon to fight alongside you. The game nails the balance between challenging combat and haunting atmosphere. The soundtrack hits emotional notes that make each area feel both beautiful and tragic. What sets it apart is how it handles its dark themes with unexpected gentleness. Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. My friend Pedro serves up bullet time action with a talking banana. You flip through levels in slow motion, splitting your aim between multiple targets while skateboarding and ricocheting bullets off frying pans. The game turns every firefight into a deadly ballet where you're constantly thinking about how to make your kills look as stylish as possible. It doesn't take itself seriously. Your guide is literally a banana with a face, but the gunplay mechanics are rock solid. Each level feels like directing your own John Woo movie. Madness Beverage mixes roguelike elements with frantic shoot-'em-up action. You're a barista fighting through procedurally generated coffee shops, using drinks as weapons. Different coffee combinations create unique attacks, from espresso shots that pierce through enemies to lattes that create defensive foam barriers. The game keeps you on your toes by randomizing enemy patterns and power-ups each run. What makes it stand out is how it turns familiar coffee shop elements into weapons and obstacles without losing its sense of humor. Hyper Light Drifter tells its story without a single word of dialogue. You explore a ruined world as the Drifter, collecting scattered technology while battling through radiation sickness. The combat demands precision. You dash between enemies, using a mix of sword strikes and gun blasts to survive. The pixel art creates a world that feels both ancient and futuristic. What makes it special is how it communicates its entire narrative through visuals and music, letting players piece together the story of what happened to this broken world. Carrion flips the script on horror games by making you the monster. You control a growing mass of tentacles and teeth, spreading through a research facility while consuming scientists and gaining new abilities. The movement system feels incredible. You slither through vents, grab victims with tentacles, and solve environmental puzzles. Instead of feeling scared, you make the humans fear you. The game perfectly captures the power fantasy of being the creature from a horror movie, but adds enough puzzle elements to keep it from being just a kill fest. Shinsekai, Into the Depths, takes you to the bottom of a flooded Earth. You play as a deep-sea explorer searching for resources and answers about what happened to humanity. The game nails the feeling of being underwater. Your movement is heavy and you constantly manage your oxygen and pressure levels. Combat feels appropriately sluggish, making each encounter with sea creatures a tense dance of resource management. What sets it apart is how it uses sound design. Everything sounds muffled and distant, creating genuine underwater atmosphere. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon captures the essence of classic Castlevania. You play as Zangetsu, a demon slayer who can recruit other characters with unique abilities. Each character feels distinct, from the whip-wielding Miriam to the alchemist Alfred, who uses powerful magic. The game lets you swap between characters on the fly, using their abilities to find different paths through levels. What makes it special is how it maintains the challenging difficulty of classic games while adding modern conveniences like character switching and multiple endings. Aragami 2 puts you in the shoes of shadow assassins protecting their clan. You use shadow powers to teleport between dark spots, create distractions, and take down enemies silently. The game shines in co-op, where you can coordinate takedowns and create elaborate plans with friends. The combat system gives you options. You can go full stealth or engage in direct sword fights if you're skilled enough. What sets it apart is how it expands on the first game's mechanics while adding meaningful multiplayer interactions. Huntdown throws you into a retro future city overrun by gangs. You choose between 3 bounty hunters, each with their own weapons and one-liners, as you fight through pixel art levels inspired by 80s action movies. The game nails the run-and-gun gameplay of classic arcade shooters while adding modern touches like cover mechanics and boss fights that require actual strategy. What makes it special is its commitment to the aesthetic. Everything from the music to the character designs feels like it came straight from a VHS action movie.
This is a gun.
Hey, let me know what you think about these games. Maybe you've played some and have a different take, or maybe something here caught your eye. Drop a comment, let's chat about it. See you in the next one.